Welcome to JPL in 30, the highlight show for the Jamaica Premier League. Match week 1 of the Jamaica Premier League started off with a doubleheader. Last season's beaten finalist Dunbeholden had an exciting season opener against Humble Lion at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex in St. Andrew, Jamaica. The second match of the doubleheader saw an eventful encounter between Waterhouse and Molynes United. The commentary box was graced with familiar voices, George Davis and Chris Taylor.
So we're getting ready for this opening battle in the Premier League. Jamaica Premier League Season 3. Humble Lion starting 11. Prince Daniel Smith, the Exportmore goalkeeper, is between the sticks. Rico Edwards, Xavier Virgo, the veteran, Lorenzo Lewin, Kenil Hyde, Andrew Vanzi, Roshane Sharp, Rayland Paisley, Afiba Chambers, Andre Clennon, and the man who runs forever, Shamari Dallas for Andrew Price.
4-3-3 is what Humble Lion will be playing. So important for them to have Andrew Vanzi back in the starting lineup. Exciting stuff after his leg-breaking incident last season. Really a talisman for them. Had the captain's armband last year, that has been switched up a bit. But yeah, good to see him in there, and the ever-present, as I said, Andre Clennon, that big feet up front.
Damien Hyatt in goal for Dunbeholden, Romario McPherson, Chevoy Watkin, the Exportmore man, Fabian McCarthy, they call him Ding. He makes the midfield Ding. Saniki Burton, Cleon Pusey, Patrick Brown, Stephen Barnett, both men who played for the UWI at this level. Shaquem Powell, Dean Andre Thomas looking lean and fit and mean, and Nicole Christian will wear the captain's armband.
Lots of changes at the in a striker's end of things for Dunbeholden. 4-3-3 is what they will play as well. Watkin, who had such a good season with Portmore last year, even though they didn't, comes into this Dunbeholden team with the loss of Shaquille Dyer.
So look at the conditions that greeted us at the start. Vanz's free kick. Looking at deflection of Christian. They got a corner from that, and then Clennon. Look at Watkin snapping back. And just when Clennon thought he had room to swing that right boot, Watkin dived in. And here's Christian. Well, Shaquem Powell it was who gave the ball away, and Clennon raced onto it, left-footed effort, kept out by Damien Hyde. Clennon header, turned away by Hyatt. They had about 8 corners in the first half, Humble Lion. And then Stephen Barnett would be sent running free into space. Dean Andre Thomas to his left. Would he pass to him, or would he go for the strike? The strike lacking conviction from Barnett. Second half, Vanzi taking aim and rifling that one just over the crossbar, rising effort. Then expert control from Christian and the game's loveliest pass. Then Barnett spearing that one into the path of Dean Andre Thomas, but his finish, his approach to the finish, not the right one. And Prince Daniel Smith was able to make himself big and make the save. Levon Williams, substitute for Humble Lion. Hyde will exchange passes with Dallas, and Dallas goes for the far post, didn't miss by much. Hyde would later leave the field with injury. This is Williams fighting through 2 challenges, and the toe poke can't beat Damien Hyde. Hyde was to make another big save late from the substitute Kemar Mullings. The key is sheet clean.
Chavoy, first transfer to Dunbeholden. How's your time been at the new team?
Well, it's been a good team to be. It was the team that I wanted to be from first before I went to Portmore.
Interesting matchup today against Andre Clennon. Tell me about that. How difficult or easy was it?
It was, I know him from last season when I was at Portmore, so when you're in the changing room, I told my teammates that I'm going to take that player, so that's what I did.
Tough conditions in the rain. How important is it for yourself and Dunbeholden to keep a clean sheet and get a point from this?
Well, that's the thing that we train for. If we can't win, we have to take a point, so yeah.
And how far do you think Dunbeholden can go this season?
Well, we are going for the title this season, definitely.
All right, Chavoy, excellent performance, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.
Jermaine, talk to me now about the Dunbeholden performance. I'm a little bit disappointed that you didn't get the 3 points.
Somewhat, but the conditions, it started raining, under-putting conditions, I mean, was kind of off, difficult for us. But nonetheless, it's a point, it's first game of the season, you have to give God thanks.
And how would you evaluate the chemistry of the team right throughout, based on the many changes that have happened since last season? How would you evaluate that part?
We had one or two issues at the beginning of the game. We weren't as fluent as we would want to. We had some amount of turnovers, and that contributed to us losing the ball somewhat and not keeping possession. But we made a tactical switch. We went to 4-4-2, and it paid off. We kind of matched up in midfield with them, and it was better from there.
Yeah, more chances coming in the second half for you. How would you talk about the Stephen Barnett, DeAndre Thomas partnership? How is that working?
I mean, it's early. It's early, and they missed one or two chances, but it's early. I mean, you don't want to kill them because, I mean, again, it's the first game, and we would still want to work with them and continue from here.
As you get this rust busting off of you, we look forward to seeing you in the weeks to come. All the best, Jermaine.
Yeah, man, thanks much.
Andrew Price now comes into frame, head coach of Humberland. Andrew, well, no surprise that you're hard to break down from a defensive perspective. How do you think your attacking play was today?
I think we needed to be a lot more clinical in front of goal. You know, we got some opportunities, you know, some one-on-ones with the keeper where we should have made better use of it. And I told him at halftime that sometimes opportunities come but once in the game and you have to take those opportunities or you may lose it. And I think we got a couple very late in the game to take all 3 points. But all in all, I think it was a balanced game. Both teams gave as much as they got from each other, and we're a work in progress. You know, it's the first game of the season. The conditions weren't the best, especially in the second half with a lot of rain. It was very slippery, and you know, to come away here with a point, though disappointing, we have to give thanks.
Last season as well, Humberland would have been guilty of slow starts in games, but this performance today, from the get-go, you were on the offensive end.
Yeah, well, that's what we have been doing in training, keeping a very high tempo. You know, want to press our opposition, try and see if we can force them into mistakes. And you know, we did some of that, but we just weren't clinical in front of goal. We're going to have to continue to work on that. But I was impressed with the effort that I got from the players today.
We are impressed by watching as well, Andrew. All the best.
Thank you very much.
Even though not having the desired playing conditions, both teams are happy to share a point each. We take our first break. JPL in 30, match week 1. Thanks for staying with us. This is JPL in 30 with the latest from match week 1. The second match of Sunday's doubleheader at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex saw a matchup between Waterhouse and Molynes United. It was a game of chaos, excitement, and goals, but at the end of it all, Waterhouse was the team to leave the venue smiling. No changes in the commentary box. George Davis and Chris Taylor remained on commentary duties.
As we look at the Waterhouse starting 11, Kamar Foster in goal, Ramon Howell, Devroy Gray, Lo Loxley, the son of the former Waterhouse goalkeeper Loxley and Jamaica goalkeeper, Devon Dunkley, Javon James, Kenroy Howell, the brother of Ramon, Elvis Wilson, who played every game for Waterhouse last season, Shaquille Bradford, Malik Cockings, and Damian Binns for Coach Marcel Gale.
4-2-3-1 is what Waterhouse will be. Is how they will be shaping up. Big losses for them in the transfer window, Waterhouse.
Peter Harrison, goalkeeper and captain, Janoy Williams, Jonoy Cunningham, so Janoy and Jonoy, Shenarda Green, Kemoy Phillips, Brian English, the man from Cavalier, who was red carded for Cavalier in the second game they played in JPL 2 and wasn't seen for the rest of the season. He turns up from Molynes United this afternoon. Marcus McDonald, Tyreek Wilson, Tyrese Winter, Rashawn Livingston, and Javon Brown for coach Alex Thomas. These players walking out to a sodden surface. Livingston with the first chance at goal, looked to his left as if he was going to make a cross, tried to catch the goalkeeper out, but Foster was on his job. And then Winter. There's a lot of speed away from Foster. Chops it back, ignored the passing options that were available to him, went for the goal. Foster with the left-handed save. Then Binns, a rear foray forward in the first half. Good cross, he got out. Gray kept it alive for Javon James, whose effort was blocked. Molynes' crossing ability from wide positions was to have a very important part in the result. This is McDonald benefiting from Elvis Wilson's moment of madness. And then Shenardo Green running in to follow up into the roof of the net. Well, in the roof of the net, not into. And that's how Molynes found their first goal. The Loxley read. Attempting the cross, it turned into a shot, easily held by Peter Harrison. Foster getting away with murder here because Wilson's effort from our angle when the net rippled, it looked as if it was goal, but it was on the other side, luckily, for Kimara Foster. What was he doing so far? What kind of challenge was that? Very unlucky. Tyreek Wilson not to see his shot find the back of the net. What did find the back of the net though was this from Devroy Gray. The ball almost hitting him in the groin. Doesn't mind, he just turned it home. Then Shaquille Bradford, the low cross, just begging for an intervention. No Waterhouse man gambled, nobody slid to turn that home. And Molynes dodged the bullet there. And then look at this, Livingston running through. And Livingston found the back of the net, but guess what? Marcus McDonald interfered with it at the last minute. And this touch from McDonald was judged to have been offside when he made that touch. And look at Livingston, incandescent with rage. And then shortly after, Devroy Gray on the end of another lovely cross from Damien Binns with the flying header unmarked. Peter Harrison left badly exposed. And the captain asking his defenders, what are they doing? I know what Gray was doing though. It was the Cristiano Ronaldo celebration to mark his second goal. Waterhouse is second.
Devroy, a brace for you today. When was the last time you scored as a starter?
Probably over there, Cavalier, that was the last time. Always from the bench for Waterhouse, so it's great to come get a start and actually grab 2 goals.
Talk to me about those finishes. What was going through your mind? You were under pressure, especially for the first goal. Where did it come off of in the end?
Basically come off of machine, because in training we just work on getting in the right position and just luck sometimes and the finish come off.
Damien Binns doesn't play usually as a left back. How good was his performance and the deliveries of his crosses?
It's been a combination that we have been working on from, as we say, on the training ground. So, and he's a natural left back from his days at Portmore, so he can deliver like that, and I'll have to just be in the right position and I will finish.
2 goals to start off the season. Excellent performance, Devroy. We'll look forward to seeing you in the weeks to come.
Thanks.
Alex, maybe for 70 minutes or so, you're certainly the better team, but then the pedigree of Waterhouse does show in the end.
Yes, we played well up to the 70th minute. We gave up 2 soft goals, I think, lots in concentration. But nevertheless, we have to just keep working. First game of the season, they did well for themselves. We have to go back to the drawing board and fix things.
Leading 1-0, you had a couple of moments in the second half where you should have probably taken a further advantage, couple of opportunities. Did you see the call as well for handball and the penalty? What did you think?
The referee is the man in charge. He will make the decision. You know, at the end of the day, we will want a penalty, but if the referee says it's not penalty, it's not penalty. The game goes on.
And in terms of creating opportunities and so on, how would you assess your performance over the 90 minutes?
We did well. You know, we created a lot of chances. I think if we were capitalizing our chances, Waterhouse would be out of the game. But such is football, you know, and Waterhouse did what they have to do to win the game, and we have to go back and work, keep working.
Keep working, Alex. A work in progress for you at your new club. All the best in the weeks to come.
Thank you.
And Damien Gordon, assistant coach of Waterhouse, now joins me. Damien, you looked nervous for a while midway through that second half. Did you ever doubt that you would be able to get the 3 points?
I mean, it was not about being nervous. It's just how we were playing, you know. It wasn't about what the opponent was doing. It's just that the error that we were making, I mean, it wasn't pleasing on the eye. So it is about that. Nervous is just unbelievable. But I mean, we come together in the end and put on a good show, and hence the result.
And of course, this is a transition period for Waterhouse. So many changes, a lot of senior players coming out of your squad.
Yeah.
So it's good to see the new faces producing as well.
Yeah, man, indeed. We had some changes over the summer. But as you know, we have some players we're working with. Very exciting young players. So hopefully, as the season progresses, they will grow as well and they will improve. So make Waterhouse a better team.
Talk to me about Devroy as well. He was your super sub last season, 3 goals coming off the bench, but today comes up with a brace as a starter.
Yeah, man, Devroy is a player like this. Once we supply him, he will score. He's going to miss some as well, but he will score. Overall, a very good player, a very hard-working player. He's always there and always working for the team. So I'm happy for him tonight. These two go do a lot for him.
It was a tough, hard-working performance for Waterhouse. Congratulations on the 3 points and all the best.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Waterhouse with this win are among only 4 teams to have registered 3 points from their first fixture of the season. More action from JPL match week 1 on the other side of the break. Match week 1 climaxed on Monday with a doubleheader at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex in St. Andrew, Jamaica. Cavalier Soccer Club were up against the exciting Arnett Gardens in a 2-1 thriller. This one had a dramatic finish. This is how things unfolded. Here are the highlights. Donald Oliver and Chris Taylor were on commentary duties.
Cavalier with their team photo. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for them. They'll be playing in a 3-4-3 formation. Jadine White between the sticks, Richard King, Giovanni Leng, Lewis Watson in front of him. In the middle of the park, Gadale Irving, Kyle Ming, Aaron Elliott and Dwayne Allen. Up front, Christopher Ainsworth, Colin Anderson, and of course their number 10, Dwayne Atkinson.
They'll be playing with a 3-4-1-2 formation. And excellent to see Lewis Watson coming in. As I said, lots of youth. Ainsworth in the wide ears as well, and Dwayne Allen, a former Woolmer standout, gets into the starting lineup for the first time.
Let's now take a look at the starting lineup for Arnett Gardens. They'll be playing in a 3-5-2 formation. Eric Edwards is in goal. Ezra Simpson, Joel Cunningham and Gerald Neal, the back 3. In the middle of the park, Ajuma Johnson, Shanoy Evans, Romeo Guthrie, the skipper, Marlon Martin and Fabian Reed. Behind the strikers, Marlon Allen and Damari Deacon.
3-5-2. The formation for Arnett Gardens. Paco Blacks, Fabian Reed, big time goal scorer.
As we take a look at the full-time highlights here, Anderson through on goal, found the side netting, tried to place it past the keeper there, couldn't do it. This from Guthrie, driven wide of the mark. Watson's delivery inside. Edwards with the save, the header from Ming. And then Atkinson bearing down on goal. And just wide of the mark there. Leng got himself in some trouble, but it could not be put away by Marlon Allen. Disappointed with the effort there, the man from Ocho-Rios, and wanted to place it between the sticks. Reed setting it up for Juma Johnson on that occasion. Johnson blasted it wide, and that was a nice attempt by Atkinson, trying to curl that one into the far corner. I reckon that Edwards had that one covered as well. And then a double block from Richard King. Really standout performance from King in the defense. And then Anderson denied by Edwards. Edwards was in no man's land on the second occasion, but good initial save to deny Colin Anderson. Cavalier, they did have their chances, and this was the goal. Wonderful work by Dwayne Atkinson and Ainsworth. Oh, that's a lovely finish, it really was. What a way to open a year account this season. And Ainsworth did really well. Arnett Gardens, they kept on pressing and pressing. Guthrie sends it back out wide and Allen blasted it high. Deacon did well when he was flying down the flank. And Allen's effort over the top. And then
There was an appeal for a handball. Clearance made by Cavalier. They tried to go the other way. Anderson was onside. And Anderson sends it across the face of goal. Too far in front of Dwayne Atkinson. And then Johnson in the corridor of uncertainty. And it went straight into the goal. A mix-up in communication there between Leng and Jadine White. And Arnett Gardens, they got the equalizer there, and then this happened. A coming together, so to speak. Ming and Deacon. Deacon continued for the ball, and then all of a sudden he just went on the turf. We assume that there was a flailing arm there from Ming. Ming cannot believe that he got the red card there. And that effort from Lewis Watson provided a save from Eric Edwards. Arboin sending this one inside. And Kelson from inside the box. And White had to come up trumps there. And then that one was a little bit too long for Ezrin Simpson. And then the chance after that. Rivaldo Mitchell doing well, controlling and just reacting quickest there ahead of King. The super sub making the difference in stoppage time. And that was that. Arnett with a 2-1 win.
Eric Edwards, ever since you've become an Arnett Gardens player, you've gone from strength to strength. How big was your performance today?
Well, I must say, kudos to the team. First, I have to big them up to stand out tonight, fight, and come out, and with them, just give me the uplift. You know, with me behind them, I just do what I do best.
You were losing for quite a bit of the game. What was it you were telling your defense line and so on? Because there were a lot of opportunities which you had to thwart and get in the middle of. What was your communication with the back line at that point?
Well, I realized at some point we were really like locking off, yeah? So I would just tell him that, hey, the game is long, yeah? We'll just keep our heads, yeah? And from where I do that, the rest of it is history.
Rudolph Speed now comes into frame. Rudolph, unfortunate loss for you up to say midway through the second half. You thought you'd have had this game wrapped up?
Oh yes, but we gave away a goal because of inexperience, and then the red card kind of put us under some pressure. I didn't tell you before, but I know that if I went to plan B, I really just had, you know, a team there. Once I went to plan B, I was always going to be in trouble, and that's what happened.
You mentioned the red card. What was your take on it?
Well, it wasn't Ming, but it's okay.
But you think it was a justified card?
Well, I don't know, because the player's been flopping on the ground from the start of the game, acting out a lot of things, so I really don't know. But one thing I know, it wasn't me.
Paul Teagat Davis, the head coach of Arnett Gardens, comes into frame. Paul, you got the job done at the end of it, a hard-fought victory, but different players putting up their hands at different times in the 90 minutes.
As I told before, you know, you got some young players, you know, introduce them, they got to get used to this Premier League. And it's going to be a tough year this year. Relegation year, so every team going to have to set themselves straight. As I told you again, it's a goal going to make a difference in this game, and it really did.
And how did the condition of the team look, just generally, a match fitness and so on?
I really started out late, you know. I think we play like 2 practice games, and but we are using these games now as practice games to get ourselves together.
And talk to me about the winner as well. How big would it for him to come out as a substitute and score that goal?
Very good, because you have been getting enough in the practice, so I think this should have been good for him with his confidence coming up.
Newcomers Chapelton Maroons were scheduled to meet the defending champions Harbour View, but there were no match. A 40th minute strike and an 80th minute header secured all 3 points for the Stars of the East.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Chapelton. Jabel Plunkett is in goal. In front of him, the captain, Javel Ellis, Jamari Howell, Asani Ricketts, Alex Gale, Marlon Pennycook, Rashai Parchment, Braheen Brown, and Lindo, Ryan Smith, and Omar Walters.
They'll be playing a 4-3-3, the Chapelton Maroons. Just 14 players on their match card. And yeah, look out for Raheem Brown, the former State star.
Amal Knight is in goal for Harbour View. In front of him, Ryan Wellington, O'Shane Staple, Odlin Harding, Jashon Anglin, Timar Lewis, Jamon Shepherd, Colorado Murray, Nicholas Hamilton, Ronaldo Robinson, and Romain Brackenridge at the back for the Stars of the East. Full-time highlights here. And Harbourview had several opportunities. There was the first chance for Brian Wellington. Inside the area, headed it wide. He would have a better header later on. This shot from Wellington, just inside the box. Didn't have a lot of power behind it, so he was making his intentions known pretty early in the piece. Chapelton, well, that was a wonderful effort, you know, from Sonny Ricketts and Amal Knight with an equally good save, denying him. Lovely ball on the top, looking for Nicholas Hamilton. And Hamilton laying it on a platter for Timar Lewis, and what a save that was by Jovel Plunkett, putting it onto the crossbar. Reflex stuff, and well done. Lewis couldn't believe that he was denied there. Chapelton really came out to play in that first half, and Amal Knight really came out and got himself in trouble there, but Roshane Brown found the crossbar. Couldn't believe it. Then the ball over the top looking for Murray. Murray left it to Nicholas Hamilton, and we've seen this before. That was a wonderful finish. Hamilton opening his account in the 41st minute on the opening day. And he'll remember that one, so to his coach, Dr. Bernard. And they could have gone further ahead. Lewis around the keeper, Ellis in the way. There was some thinking that maybe a hand was involved there, but it wasn't according to the officials. To the second half we go now, and Hamilton again, he was a star performer of the day, wasn't he? Finding Ronaldo Robinson, and Robinson could not keep his effort down. There's the ball over the top, looking for Hamilton, who was involved with almost everything on the day. Should he have hit the target after doing all this good work? Yeah, he should have, but he missed by a bit. Could have been a second. And here is Robinson on that right wing, playing that across the face of goal. Colorado Murray was waiting here, close to the back post. And there is the corner kick from Hamilton, finding his skipper, Wellington, who did well, rising highest inside the box in the 88th minute and getting the second goal for the Stars of the East. And that was made comfortable for them. And Sean Daly with his first and second touches there, getting an effort on target, and Plunkett was in the way. And then Murray driving that one to Plunkett in stoppage time. And that's the end of that for this matchup.
Nicholas, you had a slow start to the last season. You finished it with a bang, and you have certainly started this one in an electrifying manner. How do you feel about your performance?
I mean, I feel good about my performance. I work hard all pre-season, and I was saying that I didn't have a wonderful start to last season, so this season I have to have a good start, and that's what I come out here doing.
Tashana, not a bad performance by the boys. How would you assess it, especially with a slim squad?
I mean, you got it pretty spot on right there. I thought we saw a lot of positives today that we could work on going into future games, but I must say congratulations to Harbourview, and well tried by my boys.
Off to a good start, not necessarily a 5-star performance, but it's important to get the 3 points at the end of it.
Yeah, started very slowly, which is something that I didn't want, and we gradually grew into the game. We got some good, they got better opportunities before we settled down. I think probably that may have jerked us up a bit. And once we got our game going, I thought that it was only a matter of time before we converted many of the opportunities that we got.
The non-televised matches on Sunday saw Portmore and Montego Bay United play to a 1-1 draw. So too did Vere United and Tivoli, and Mount Pleasant got the job done over recently promoted team Falkland. That fixture ended 2-1. This has been JPL in 30 on CVM TV and your home of champions, SportsMax. Tune in next week for the Jamaica Premier League, powered by DigiCell.